Hello, this is Unlock Circuits 18EC42, Module 4, Lecture 5, Op-Amp with negative feedback, which corresponds to the instrumentation amplifier. So in this video, we'll do the part 1, and in the next video, we'll do the part 2 for the instrumentation amplifier. I'm Dr. Nurullah Sharif C. So we see here that the transducer is a device before going to the instrumentation amplifier. Rather, the instrumentation system is used to measure the output signal produced by a transducer. So what appears most important over here is the instrumentation system is used to measure the output of a signal produced by a transducer, okay, and often to control a physical signal producing it. So transducer is the one which is the input side of a transistor of a instrumentation system. So a transducer is a device that converts one form of energy into another. Most of the time, it will be either pressure into, say, voltage, or might be displacement into voltage, or temperature into voltage, or light into voltage. So that is what we have here in the case of transducers. So that becomes the input for the instrumentation amplifier. So whatever is the output signal of the transducer will be input to the instrumentation amplifier or the instrumentation system. So this gives us the overall, picture of a instrumentation system over here. And here you can see that we have the input stage, the intermediate stage, and the output stage. So here the input of the intermediate stage, which is an instrumentation amplifier, is the transducer plus the preamplifier, and the output of the intermediate stage, which is again the instrumentation amplifier, is the indicator or the automatic process which is controlled by the instrumentation amplifier. So the physical quantity which is to be measured goes through the transducer and preamplifier to the intermediate stage, which is basically the instrumentation amplifier, which amplifies the signal to a much higher level, and then that is given to the indicator, which will show us the display of the output signal. So the transmission, generally the transmission lines which are connected over here might be long distance transmission lines, particularly when the transducer is at a place where it is a hazardous situation. That just means that if the temperature might be too high for the human intervention, at that time you might have long transmission lines, right? So on the whole, one can say that the instrumentation amplifier is to amplify the low level output signal of the transducer so that it can drive the indicator or display is the major function of the instrumentation amplifier. So on the whole, it just means instrumentation amplifier is used for precise low-level signal amplification where low noise, low thermal, and high and low thermal and time drift, high input resistance, and accurate closed loop voltage gain are required. So this becomes the definition of a instrumentation amplifier. Okay. Let us go to the instrumentation amplifier using the transducer bridge, wherein the figure is shown over here. So this is the transducer bridge with 4 different resistors. This arm here is the temperature dependent resistance, or you can say this is a resistance transducer wherein either the temperature or the light or the pressure or displacement or whatever it is, okay, the physical quantity, because the physical quantity varies, this resistance of this transducer varies. That's the what we call property of this resistive transducer. So now this under normal circumstance or reference condition is a balanced bridge. Generally, we take the values of all these resistors same under the reference conditions so that the bridge is perfectly balanced, and we have VA is equal to VB. We have VA is equal to VB. So when they are not, exactly same, also it should be the ratios of this resistor and this resistor. So it should be in such a way that VB and VA are same, and there is no potential difference between these two. That means VAB will be equal to 0. So the resistive transducer whose resistance changes as a function of some physical energy is connected in one arm of the bridge with a small circle around it, and is denoted by RT plus R minus del R. So del R, RT is the fixed resistance at the reference condition, and del R is the change in the resistance which occurs because of the physical quantity which might be changing, which will correspond to either pressure, temperature, displacement, or might be light. So the bridge under the reference conditions, VB should be equal to VA, and the VB value over here in the figure can be measured as the current flowing through this arm. Okay, we should assume that no current enters into the op amp, no current enters into the op amp. So therefore, the current flowing through this is VDC divided by RC plus RB, and that multiplied by RB, because VB is the voltage between this point and the ground. VB is the voltage between this point and the ground. So therefore, VDC divided by RB plus RC multiplied by RB will give us the voltage which is equal to VB. Similarly, VA will be VDC divided by RT plus RA multiplied by RA is the value which we'll get for the VA, and these two should be equal. Now you can divide this, take this RB to the denominator of the denominator and RA to the denominator of the denominator. VDC will cancel. We'll get RB cancelling, RA cancelling. So we are left with 1 by 1 plus RC by RB is equal to 1 by 1 plus RT by RA. That just means that RC by RB should be equal to RT by RA. That is what we have here. RC by RB is equal to RT by RA. So this, if we have the ratios, equal over here, then we'll have a balanced bridge. Under normal conditions, we'll see that all the values of the resistors are considered same. RA, RB, RC are selected so that they are equal value to the resistance of the transducer RT at some reference condition. Okay. Now, when a physical quantity changes, when a what you call quantity is to be measured, then naturally the what you call under the balance conditions, this will be same. Whereas when the what you call physical quantity changes, the resistance RT is going to change, and when the resistance RT is going to change, then the bridge will no more be balanced. That means VA will be not equal to VB. So the bridge is balanced initially at the desired reference conditions. However, as the physical quantity to be measured changes, the resistance of the transducer also changes, which causes the bridge to be unbalanced. So the output of the bridge can be expressed as a function of the change in the resistance of the transducer, which we will see later. So whatever is the output voltage, VAB, can be expressed as a function of the change in the resistance of the transducer. So let us see how we can do that. So here, if we have, VA is again, VB is again the same value, because it is only this which is changing with respect to resistance. So VB is VDC divided by RB plus RC into RB is the value of VDC. Whereas now VA is going to change because this value is changing. So VA is equal to VDC divided by RA plus RT plus R minus del R, depending upon the increase or decrease in the physical quantity, plus or minus del R. We generally write plus del R only. Then we can consider either plus or minus del R. Okay. Plus del R only we can consider. So VDC divided by RA plus RT plus del R multiplied by the value of RA. So VA and VB are found over here. Then VAB is VA minus VB, this quantity minus this quantity. So if you simplify this, or rather you can consider that RA and RT, RB and RC all are equal to R. Then under that condition, the value will be VDC divided by, you can have here what we call, this will become R, this will become 2R by del R, this will become R by 2R, RR will cancel, so it will become just VDC by 2. So you can take out VDC divided by 2R plus del R, which is this quantity outside. Then what is left is this R inside. And then because we are taking this out, to balance that, we should write 2R plus del R over here in the numerator. And divided by 2 will be there because we are just taking out the VDC value also. And 2R by 2 will be R, RR will cancel. So what is left with us is just the quantity del R by 2 with a minus sign. So VDC divided by 2R plus del R minus del R by 2. So the negative sign in this equation is because VA is less than VB. So this VA will be less than VB because of the increase in the value of del R. So the output VAB of the bridge is then applied to the differential instrumentation amplifier consisting of the 3 op amps as shown in the figure. So this is the 3 op amp instrumentation amplifier to which VAB is given. So you can see that these two are just voltage followers. These two are just voltage followers. That means whatever you get here, you'll get over here. Only that you will get low output impedance, conversion of the high input impedance to the low output impedance is what we have here because of the voltage follower buffer. So we'll get VAB again here itself. And this is the differential amplifier. Now this input is the inverting input, and this is the non-inverting input. If you just consider the inverting input, output will be minus RF by R1 into the voltage here. And the voltage, if you consider only this input over here and this is not there, if you consider, then you will get the output as plus RF by R1 into the value which is there here, VB. This is VA and this is VB. So VA into minus RF by R1 will be output. We'll consider only with respect to VA. VB will be VB into RF by R1 will be equal to V0. So on the whole, the amplification will be RF by R1 for VAB. So V0 is equal to VAB multiplied by minus of RF by R1, and that will give us the VAB we know already. We have written that RF by R1. So generally, the value of this del R is much smaller than the 2R value. So this can be neglected, and under that condition, we are just left with RF by R1 as it is over here, and the del R value here, and this becomes 4R into VDC. Now, this can be in such a way, the del R is because of the change in the physical quantity. Depending upon the change in the physical quantity, the del R value change. Depending upon the value of the del R change, the V0 is also going to change. So we can calibrate the output measuring device to in such a way that whatever is the change in the physical quantity can be directly displayed on the output device. So the equation indicates that V0 is directly proportional to the change in the resistance of del R, and since the change in resistance is caused by the change in physical energy, the meter connected to the output can be calibrated in terms of the units of that physical quantity. So now we will consider the what you call different transducers. Okay, the what you call, before going to the applications, we'll just consider some resistive type of transducers and their characteristics. Some resistive type of transducers and their characteristics is what we'll say. So we have the different transducers as thermistor, photoconductive cells, which are also known as LDR or light dependent resistors, strain gauges, three types of, commonly the transducers, which are resistive in nature. So first, the thermistor is essentially the semiconductor type of device that behaves as a resistor. And this has negative temperature coefficient of resistance. That means as the temperature increases, we will get the decrease in resistance. As the temperature increases, the resistance is going to decrease in the case of thermistor. So the temperature coefficient of the resistance is expressed in ohms per unit change in degree Celsius. Ohms per unit degree Celsius. So thermistor is a high temperature coefficient. Thermistor with a high temperature coefficient of resistance are more sensitive to temperature changes and are therefore well suited to the temperature measurement and control. So thermistors are available in different shapes and sizes. However, thermistor beads sealed in the tip of glass rods, right, are most commonly used because they are relatively easy to mount. Then we have the photoconductive cells, which belong to the family of photodetectors or photosensitive devices whose resistance varies with an incident radiant energy. So as light falls on that, light energy falls on that, then the resistance of that device is going to change. So as the intensity of the incident light increases, if you increase the light intensity which falls on the device, then the resistance of the cell is going to decrease. So again, we have a negative, coefficient. That just means that as intensity increases, the resistance is going to decrease. So the resistance of the photoconductive cell in darkness is typically of the order of 100 kilo. Generally, the resistance of the cell in darkness and at particular light intensity is listed in the data sheets. The intensity of the lights is expressed in meter candles, that is generally known as lux. Materials such as cadmium sulfide and silicon, whose conductivity is function of incident radiant energy, are used in the photoconductive cells. Some cells are extremely sensitive to light and hence can be used into even the ultraviolet and infrared range. The photoconductive cell is typically composed of a ceramic base, a layer of photoconductive material, a moisture-proof enclosure, and the metallic leads. Photoconductive cells are also known as light-dependent resistors, LDRs, or even photocells. So photocell or light-dependent resistors. Then we have what is known as the strain gauge, whose resistance change due to the elongation or compression when an external stress is applied. So whenever an external stress is applied, then the resistance is going to change because of the length change, elongation or compression. Now this is generally due to the elongation or stress, may be due to pressure, torque or displacement. Therefore, a strain gauge may be used to monitor change in the applied pressure, torque and displacement by measuring the corresponding change in the gauge resistance. So depending upon the change in the applied pressure or torque or displacement, the resistance of the strain gauge is going to change. So we have two basic types of strain gauges, wire and semiconductor. Semiconductor strain gauges are much more sensitive than wire type and therefore provide better accuracy and resolution. The sensitivity of the strain gauge is defined as unit change in resistance per unit change in length and is generally dimensional quantity. So we'll stop at this for this video. We'll consider the rest of the thing in the next one. Thank you.